Good morning, everybody. My name is Jaramillo. I'm really excited to share with you some of the tools that Autodesk offers for the future of construction. Most of them are already in the market, but they're here purposely to bridge the gap that we have in this industry between what we plan and how we perform. Now, BIM 360 main target is the reduction of risk in main key areas by providing us the necessary information to leverage that information and make informed decisions and minimize the uncertainties in construction. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this triangle, it's called the triangle of waste. In theory, if we try to save time on a project, we have to sacrifice either cost or quality. Vice versa, if we want to enhance quality in a project, we have to sacrifice either time or cost. But how can we achieve bringing those vertices closer to the center, right? We can do that through the use of information, reducing things that are uncertain, being able to connect points, and for that matter, becoming more predictable. It's all about predictability. Now, I want to show this image. I don't know how many of you have activity trackers or have used any activity trackers, right? It's a little tool, a little tech that's used to collect information for us to be able to make decisions on how we exercise, how we eat, how we sleep, right? But behind that is all the data, all that connected data. I'll circle back to this at the end of the presentation to connect the dots. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the different products that we have in Autodesk and where they fit within the market. Let's first start with BIM 360 Glue. All right, the intent of BIM 360 Glue is to be able to share information between all the parties involved during the design phase. Sharing models. I don't know, many of you have suffered sharing models by putting them up in the cloud, the other party downloading them, reattaching it, or reconnecting, or setting up a specific set of folders, and it's really a mess. But with publishing directly to Glue, this allows us to share information quicker, to be able to run macro coordination between engineers and architects, and provide better documentation for construction. This is a tool that enhances collaboration. We are in the era of communication. Now, let's take a step forward. Let's move this into the construction phase. In the construction phase, the connection between BIM 360 Glue and being able to attach points and transfer those points to a total station allows us to translate that model that was hosted on an office and being used by probably one or two persons to be able to make some assessment out to the field and actually build the project as it was meant to be. We have extended the benefits of BIM 360 Glue with BIM 360 Layout and collaborated with people out in the field for them to be able to use the model. Now let's take a look at the next one, BIM 360 Field. BIM 360 Field is a tool meant to be able to collect information throughout the construction process. Extremely powerful tool that allows us to generate punch lists, quality checklists, commissioning, and also reports back to us very relevant data and metrics for us to be able to make assessments on what's lagging, where we need to push people to make things happen and avoid our projects being late, and also helps us address quality issues. Now, this is really important because collecting information throughout the construction process allows us to make a better turnover to the owner. It's structured information, connected information. Not only connected, it can be connected to the model through BIM 360 Glue, but also information that's captured, organized, and eventually published, exported to specific formats, such as COBie. Let's look at the next one. Plan, BIM 360 Plan. Now, I don't know how many of you guys are actually, or have used the pull planning out in the projects, or know a little bit about Lean. BIM 360 Plan is a tool meant to support the last planner system. With this, the pull planning doesn't remain only at the job site office, but it's actually used to capture information on what's happening out at the job site. If a task cannot be completed because somebody messed up or didn't complete their work, it could be easily reported back to the office through the tool, through the live tool in the tablet. And same thing, allows us to get metrics. Now, this is a big one. Hosting documents up in the cloud. Many of you have dealt with different cloud systems, Ignite, Box, Dropbox, OneDrive. Those are very generic in nature, right? They weren't meant specifically for the construction industry. BIM 360 Docs is meant for construction, and it will do a lot for you guys. It will organize your documentation. If you publish from Revit, it'll split out every single page that you have on your Revit file into different views that can be easily not only viewed, navigated, but it's also hyperlinked. Same thing if you upload PDF files. Those PDF files, if you have one file that has 200 pages, it'll break up that PDF file into pages, and it will hyperlink every single one of your callouts. So this is a cloud that's main purpose is to serve the construction industry. Now, BIM 360 Glue it's a very young product. It's evolved dramatically. It's changed, and it's being constantly updated to be able to respond to the needs of the users. In an industry where we're generating massive amounts of information that's very easily to generate updates, right? We have a redundancy of documents, and how do we track those? How do we track versions? We have to have different software applications. You have to have one cloud that will support that, another process to be able to manage the documents on your servers, another process to be able to transfer those documents out to the field. So BIM 360 Docs covers that solution. Now let's talk a little bit about our last feature here, that's building ops. Now, as I talked initially, information is the cornerstone of what's the future in this industry. And the transition between what's produced during design and construction can easily be transferred to a solution that's building ops, that extends the value of BIM data into operation and the maintenance phase of the building cycle. Now, let me circle back to where I started, right? Very relevant. All the information that's captured through activity trackers, through different sensors, energy sensors, if you have those placed in your home, that information is tabulated and organized to provide us metrics so we can make informed decisions on how we're going to proceed with whatever we're doing, right? So these metrics are extremely relevant. I have a funny story here. Cell phone companies, they track the movement of a user. Whatever you have on your cell phone when you're carrying it, they're tracking where you are. And cell phone companies, they don't have any use for that. But if you're a business owner or you're an entrepreneur that's trying to set up a business, right? And you want to better understand what type of business you want to set up in a specific block of the city, right? You want to know the age of the people that actually walk there every single day to see what type of business will be the best fit. If you're targeting 30-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, right? That information becomes extremely relevant for you to make a decision. You're not going to put a daycare where you have high transit areas. So this information, right, gives you the power, empowers you to make decisions. Now, this next slide is what Autodesk is working on. And I don't know if you guys have heard of Autodesk IQ. They're using the data that's captured with all those different applications and processing that data through artificial intelligence to provide us a better understanding where the projects are, right? To be able to assess and mitigate that risk. If it's an issue in an RFI, if you have 200 RFIs, how do you choose which ones to target first? How do you assess where you're actually going to incur in increased time in your project or increased costs? You know, a project can have so many issues, so many problems, so many fires that you need to put down on a single day that sometimes it's overwhelming making those decisions if you don't have the correct information. So what Autodesk is doing, it's putting data at its core. And from that data, using its ecosystem to be able to extract that information, structure it, organize it, and provide you with the relevant feedback that you need to make important decisions. And we're integrating all our product lines to that data. Anything that's produced through Revit can populate that center. And we're also integrating our partners to be able also to develop their tools in our system and be able to extract information. I'm currently leading the development of a COBie exporter that actually extracts information from the cloud and produces a COBie spreadsheet for handover to owners. And when you're dealing with multiple trades, multiple partners, multiple entities that are trying to generate a single COBie spreadsheet to deliver that to an owner, this is extremely important because you can do one single export at the end of the project and capture that information for handover to an owner. With that said, the intent of BIM 360 is to align that disparity between what we plan and how we perform, reduce that risk, and provide you with the necessary information. Let's not only say data, but information that's extracted from the data that's captured throughout the entire building life cycle for you to make the necessary informed decisions to be able to successfully develop a high-quality product to your owner. That said, thank you so much.